Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. Hey everyone! I never thought I'd be the one to share a story like this, but here I am. I guess you never really know, right? This is about how I caught my wife, Ilara, cheating after 20 years of what I thought was a happy marriage. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it all. It all went down at our town's annual community BBQ. It's a big deal around here, lots of families, lots of friends, a real highlight of the year. Ilara and I, we've always been pretty active in our community, helping out with events, and this year was no different. Or so I thought. I arrived a bit late to the BBQ because of work. Ilara had gone ahead to set up our usual spot near the park gazebo. When I got there, I didn't see her at first, so I started mingling, catching up with friends. You know how it is. But as the evening wore on, I noticed I hadn't seen her around. I figured she was probably helping out with the raffle or something, so I didn't think much of it. Then, I decided to grab us a couple of drinks from the tent. That's when I spotted her, but she wasn't alone. She was tucked away near one of the quieter walkways of the park, talking intimately with Mitch, a guy from our yoga class. Now Mitch has always been a bit too friendly, laughing a little too hard at her jokes, always finding an excuse to be near her during classes. I'd noticed but never thought much of it. My mistake. I saw them laugh, and then she touched his arm in a way that was definitely not friendly. It felt like a punch to the gut. I stood there, frozen, drink in hand, watching as my wife of 20 years leaned in and kissed him. It wasn't just a peck. It was one of those long, passionate types that you'd see in a damn romance movie. Heart pounding, I approached them. I must have made some noise, or maybe it was just fate, but they turned and saw me. The look on Ilara's face, it was like she was seeing a ghost. Panic, guilt, embarrassment, all mixed into one. Mitch, well, he just looked like he wanted any ground to swallow him up. Ilara? That's all I could manage. She started stammering. Jasper, it's not what it looks. Save it, I cut her off. The hurt was too deep, and seeing them together, I couldn't stomach any excuses. I turned to Mitch. Really, man? You had to go for someone else's wife? He didn't say much, just muttered an apology and pretty much bolted. I guess he wasn't as brave as he thought he was when seducing another man's wife. The ride home was the longest of my life. Ilara tried to explain, saying it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. But how could it not mean anything? We've built a life, a family, and in just one evening, it seemed like all of that meant nothing to her. We're still sorting through things. I'm staying at a buddy's place for now because I just can't be in the same house as her. The kids don't know yet, and I'm dreading that conversation more than anything. So, that's my story. I trusted her completely, never doubted our life together, and now I'm just trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces. Thanks for letting me vent. Any advice or similar experiences would help. Feels like I'm in a bad dream. Update. Hi everyone. I wanted to give you an update since a lot has happened since I last posted about catching Ilara at the community BBQ. Your advice and support have meant a lot to me during this surreal time, so thanks for that. First off, after a few days of cooling down, I decided we needed to talk more seriously about everything. I couldn't just stay at my friend's place forever, and we have our kids to think about. So, I went back to the house to have a proper conversation with Ilara. When I arrived, I found her more defensive than remorseful. It wasn't the reaction I was hoping for. She tried to turn the tables, accusing me of being too absorbed in my work and not paying enough attention to her. I was stunned. Sure, my job is demanding, but I've always made sure to balance work and family. Plus, that's no excuse for what she did. I just felt so alone, Jasper. You're always at work or tired. Mitch, he listens to me, she tried to explain, but it sounded so self-serving. I couldn't believe she was using my work ethic against me, especially when we both agreed years ago that I would be the main breadwinner, so she could focus more on her art projects and the kids. It felt like she was rewriting our entire history just to justify her actions. Ilara, being lonely doesn't justify cheating. We made vows. If you were unhappy, you should have talked to me, not sneak around behind my back, I replied, trying to keep my voice calm, but feeling my temper rise. She didn't have much to say to that, just a bunch of excuses. It became clear that she wasn't taking full responsibility for her actions. The conversation went around in circles, and I realized this wasn't going anywhere productive. She was playing the victim, making it out as if the universe conspired to push her into someone else's arms. We ended up deciding that it's best if we start considering separation, at least for a while. It's a mess, honestly. I've been talking to a lawyer about how to handle things smoothly for the kids' sake. They're still unaware of the full extent of what's happening, but they know things aren't right between mom and dad, and it's breaking my heart. As for Mitch, I've heard through the grapevine that he's pretty much avoided showing his face at yoga or anywhere I might be. Small town life, word gets around fast, and it seems his reputation took a hit. I'm just trying to keep it together, focus on the kids, and plan my next steps carefully. This whole ordeal has opened my eyes to a lot I was blind to. Maybe I was too trusting, too wrapped up in maintaining our lifestyle. Either way, I've got a lot to think about. Thanks again for all your support. It's tough, but I'm hanging in there, trying to figure out the best path forward for me and the kids. Update 2. Hi everyone. I wanted to provide what will likely be my final update on this situation. It's been a roller coaster, but things are starting to stabilize, and I'm finding my footing again. Your support has been incredible throughout this ordeal. Here's where things stand now. After much reflection and discussion, Alara and I have decided to proceed with the divorce. It's not an easy decision, especially after 20 years together, but it's the right one under the circumstances. I've moved into a new place and have started to put together a new routine for myself and the kids. Speaking of the kids, they're handling the situation much better than I anticipated. Kids are resilient, and they've been incredibly understanding and supportive. I guess they sensed more than we gave them credit for, as children often do. We've been open with them about the situation in a way that's appropriate for their ages, and they appreciate the honesty. It's important to me that they know they can rely on both of us to be there for them, no matter what. Personally, I've seen firsthand how tough divorce can be on kids. My own parents went through it when I was younger, and I remember the confusion and the pain. That's something I've vowed to minimize for my own children. We've set up a co-parenting plan, and Alara and I are committed to maintaining a stable and loving environment for them. We might not be together, but we both want the best for our children, and that's one thing that hasn't changed. I've also started to look forward to the future. It's strange to think about life as a single man after 2 decades of marriage, but I'm slowly getting used to the idea. I've picked up some old hobbies that I put on the back burner during my marriage, and I'm even considering a few classes and social activities once things fully settle down. It feels good to rediscover parts of myself that got lost in the shuffle. Alara and I are keeping things civil. It's not always easy, but we manage for the kids' sake. I truly wish her the best. Whatever issues led to the breakdown of our marriage, I hope she finds happiness and maybe learns something from all of this, as I have. We've both made mistakes, and moving forward, I just want to focus on healing and being the best dad I can be. Thank you all for following along with my story and for your thoughtful words and advice. It's helped more than you know. Here's to new beginnings, no matter how daunting they may seem at first. No words for this one, y'all. Just pain. Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.